heat sinks with our Stat Cool 3+ design keep your system running reliably under heavy.
Yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Open series, of course, brought to you by XP and Computer Alliance and every other lovely sponsor we've got here. Charisma, how you feeling this evening? I saw you went to go for the intro. Of course, a bit of a technical issue, but hopefully we got it fixed. Oh. All right, we'll of course try and sort out the issues, but of course we've got. All right, here we go. Not yet. Oh, all right, we're having a bit of issues. Of course, bear with us for a second, but Intel XP Open Series is good to be here. We're gonna have some crazy games, of course, coming up in just a bit. We've got East LA, of course, taking on, I believe, the side of Rain. A bit of a game we saw in the Summer Cup. Just not along with me, Charisma. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, mate. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I came in with so much gusto, but it wasn't met with the audio issues. But we have figured it out. Of course, this is the XP Valorant Open, as you said, powered by Computer Alliance and Intel. So good to be here, Tony. It's good to have you alongside me in the cast. We do a little bit of Valorant together here and there, so it's nice to be back for some more. It looks a little bit different this time around. The colors surrounding me look a little bit different, but Tony, you and I still look the same, and hopefully you're still staying the same. How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. I've been keen. I've been looking forward to this. Of course, we heard about it for a while. We saw the open quals, and we saw what these teams are qualified, of course, that are capable of. And we've got some very familiar faces here. We just saw these same two teams, I believe, yesterday. East LA taking on Rain for our first one. Should be a very, very interesting game. Of course, a best of one, no longer a best of three, and it's all on the table here for this first one.
Yeah, that's right. You did mention the open qualifiers. Let's have a look at what happened and where we've come to get ourselves here. Of course, if we do look at the league format, we said there was a 16-team double elim bracket to get us up until this point. And now we're here at the group stages. It's all been sifted down to these teams, Tony. Of course, this is a 3-week competition. Then we head through to the semifinals and then the grand finales with a third place playoff along the way. And of course, I'm really excited to see how this one plays out, Tony. I know you are too. And of course, this isn't all for nothing, Tony. We're not playing for charity. We're here for some prize money. Why don't we have a look at the prize pool for all these teams and what they're going to be vying for? Of course, first place will be a nifty little $1,000. Tony, I'm sure you and I can both do something with that. Second place will take home the 500 big ones. Third, 300. And then fourth, 200. So, everybody's a winner here in the XP Open Series. So I'm excited to get how this one goes. Of course, as you see below there, we are powered by Computer Alliance, Intel, and Zowie. If you make sure you get your hands on some of their products, it's sure to be an absolute blast. I've used some Zowie monitors in the past, and my word, they are impressive.
Yeah, and of course, you said what these players could do with that prize pool. Cop a lovely Intel CPU as well. Can get themselves hand on some other products as well from Intel. Of course, the 12th gen CPU processors are you can get one from Computer Alliance today. And of course, Charisma. This is it's going to be an interesting one. We looked at the format. We've looked at what these teams are playing for. Of course, we've alluded to our match one very, very quickly here. Of course, Rain taking on East LA, a best of one. We've got our Vetoes through as well, so that's going to be an interesting one to look at. Of course, only one chance, not a best of three like we saw both these teams play yesterday. And I believe we've actually got all 5 here for Rain this evening. They're core of 5, which should be good to see.
Yeah, there is the roster for Rain. We've got Punda, JT, Panic, Issa, and Maishu. Of course, this is a bit of a merging of the rosters, Tony, and you've kept your eye very closely on this one. Why don't you run us through kind of how we got to this point and what this new roster looks like and what it means for us moving forward?
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a debacle. It's the former two of With You With Me that played one game, I believe, in a different tournament. We saw Mai and JTXU, of course, El Snow, or just Snow, if you want to call him that, of course. Coming from that With You With Me roster, and it was heartbreak. With You With Me wanting to disband straight after that loss, and what Mai was one of those players to put up a tweet to go, "Hey, I still want to play. I'm still looking for a team," and iconic, of course, the core three coming over, Punda, Panic, and Issa, as well as Sub Jerky, looking at that disbanded roster and, took their scraps, took their pieces, and, put them together in their own puzzle. And, we saw out of Rain yesterday. It was a very explosive game, just with all the pieces that they put together.
Yeah, and they did have a good little performance there, and all the while having that sub, like you mentioned, in Jerky. Hopefully, I'm guessing this core five, and no disrespect to Jerky, they're going to be hoping not to have to access their support across these few weeks of competition that we have coming up. But that is our Rain roster. They're looking nice and tidy. I'm excited to see these guys in action. We know what names like Maishu, Panic, and Elso, Punda, Issa, they're all names we've seen and we've come to know and love in the Valorant scene in OCE. So I'm excited to see how this five looks forward, not just, of course, last night and tonight, but going forward into the rest of the year. We've got some important events coming up as far as Valorant goes. So I'm excited to see what that looks like for them. But why don't we look at the other side of the coin? Tony, why don't you run us through our East LA roster, which is sure to set ourselves on this one?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting roster that's come together. Of course, East LA, they've been around for a while now, and, they've been playing a few previous tournaments here or there, adding, of course, that kind of core four from this, I believe it was the old Nation fan club roster. I can't remember if we saw them in the last Open for the XP Tournament League, but of course, East LA coming together with this recent addition in Icona. It's been working not too bad for them. Of course, still a few things to work out. They unfortunately lost their game yesterday against Rain, and, still looked very sharp and promising out of the side of East LA. Of course, it kind of put up some big numbers. We saw some big stuff as well from Exempt on that Chamber. I hope to see him back on the Chamber again this evening. And of course, you can see a few of these agents looking, of course, the picks here. Delusion, of course, the IGL for East LA, normally known to play the Sova, but he's been a little bit flexible as of late. We saw him on the Breach yesterday.
Yeah, of course, my experience with Custom Delusion, he does have that ability, and what valuable players they are, the ones that can just flex between those roles and really perform at any sort of role, whether they're asked to be that duelist, that smokes player, that entry player, whatever you need, they just seem to fill that role really well. But there are the head-to-heads. Of course, it will be Rain taking on East LA. Tony, I want to highlight Chamber. He's an agent I want to highlight heading into this one. Do you think he's going to have a big impact in this one? As he seems to fill in a really important role in the scope of where Valorant's taken its turn into what you could, I guess, quote unquote, say the new meta.
Yeah, it's interesting. Of course, Astra kind of falling out of favor. We'll see the next patch obviously severely severely decapitate, Delusion and Indies picks here, Jet and Sova. And it's going to be interesting how the meta kind of shifts from there. But obviously, we've seen a lot of teams since that Astra's fallen out. They've been picking up the Omen. They've been picking up the Brimstone. Even, of course, able to pick up the Chamber now. And you kind of, we had this discussion on a different tournament. You can kind of play this Chamber as an aggressive Sentinel. You're able to take a fight. You can teleport out scot-free, rendezvous with the Tour de Force. And it's just so easy pickings for these guys that can position themselves well with the Chamber.
Yeah, I suppose it meets a lot of those it's kind of a few different agents merged in one. You have the ability to set up those tripwire type things, such as your Cypher. You've got your ability to get away from battle fairly quickly, like your Jet, and then you have that tour de force to work with. He's truly an incredible agent. Hey, why don't we look at the map bans and picks? It'd be interesting to see how they have showed up. And here we go. Here are the map vetoes. Of course, it will be for actually the first one banned. Tony, no real surprises there. It's you either love it or you hate it map. Then we're going to be banning Breeze from East LA. Rain banned Bind, taking it. Then it will be Haven gone. Icebox quickly followed. Split out of the equation as well, which takes us to Ascent, Tony. It's a map that we've all come to know and love. One that I'm a big fan of watching how it plays. It sometimes feels like it's not one way leaning with that as far as attacking and defending. It's a really strong map on both sides of the coin, I feel.
Yeah, so that's kind of hard to see where it goes. Interestingly enough, this is a little bit of an inside scoop. Bind and Haven were both the maps that were played in that series yesterday in that best of three, and well, Rain, interestingly enough, opting to ban out one of the picks they won yesterday. Haven looked a little bit more dominant than, of course, their Bind did, but it's interesting enough to see the reads kind of coming through. Rain don't want to play Bind. It seems yet again. Haven being taken out. Icebox split, of course. Very prone to kind of more strat heavy plays and strat heavy executes that we've seen, but maybe East LA Rain kind of want to take it step back. They kind of want to go back to that kind of core fundamental with some very precise gunplay.
Of course, and as we do start to load into our first series of the evening, as you said, it will be a massive showdown, of course, on the way. I can't wait to see how the agent selects have come through. It will be Rain taking on East LA as the agent selections are already locked in, and I'm not surprised to see that KO locked in straight away from both sides.
Yeah, we saw actually. This is a great segue here. Easter locking in that KO. We saw, I believe it was on Haven, 18 assists. This man is absolute demon when it comes to KO. Able to set up perfectly with his flash for teammates to just go for peaks, go for pushes. For Elsno as well. Of course, JTXU for all of you on screen here. It's still working the iconic banner. It'll be interesting enough to see when they change their names over Rain. Of course, they're waiting, for the reset. But of course, Elsno on the Omen, we have him pegged as a pretty comfortable duelist player, but he's been showing a lot of flexibility. He's able to play these smokes. He's able to play these more util-oriented roles that the team kind of requires. And you can see Thunder Panic hovering last picks here while we wait for our last time to tick down. East LA, though, they've locked in all of theirs. Indy actually going to be on the chamber.
Yeah, Omen. What do you think about this pick of Omen on Ascent, Tony? It's one that is it's not one that's always there, but when it is there, it's certainly loved. And not all teams opt in for that option. What's your feeling? Like, with Breach having the little rework that he had done over the last few months, is it on Ascent, where a map where you can smoke from most of the map on Breach? Is it better to go with not Breach, Brimstone option, or is it better to stick with your Omen, which was really the first meta of controller type agents, or is Brimstone probably a better pick?
I feel you can do a lot more team play with the Omen, I guess. Of course, you can flash for your teammates around corners, especially on a map like Ascent that we'll be seeing here. Very, very comfortable map for this Omen pick. Of course, we've seen what Elsno, of course, can do in previous iterations of when he's been playing this Omen. We've seen a lot of other Omens definitely look to paranoia through A main. Teammates can go for peaks, and it can really shut down an attacking side hit before it even starts.
Yeah, and it looks like we will be just about ready to get ourselves underway. As you can see there on your screens, I believe you see Indy there setting up those trips, and that's what this chamber is so good for. And we are about to get underway for map number 1, or our first series of the night. It will be Rain taking on East LA, and already that Sober Dart causing a bit of a headache. Tony, while we wait for this gameplay to kind of take its due course, Kana already playing some massive aggression. They're going to TP back. Panic taking the first one there. Issa waiting patiently with that classic. Paranoia comes through, not able to connect. And this could get really messy right now here on the A side. It looks like it's going to come out fairly even, but it will be all left on the last couple of members here of East LA to try and hold this down, but it can't follow Kalashnikov, the last one left with the shorty.
Shadows traveling.
22 HP, both players drop down, and perfect tap there. Double drop, sound cue given. Maya should pick up the shot. Perfect retake there for Rain. Of course, losing a few members on that hold, kind of hard to do, of course. You're getting fragments, you're getting flashes tossed at you. Akana looking at entry into that site. Interestingly enough, getting so deep in mid, then just taking the teleport straight back to A main to help his teammates out. Kind of maybe caught Rain a little bit early on, but they were able to adjust, they were able to adapt, and now picking up that round. Going to be on the buy here. Spectres Marshals to be expected.
Okay, let's talk about what we've got a couple of moments here. It's no secret, it's no taboo subject that the new agent is on the way this evening, and will be sure to be a bit of an earthquake through the Valorant scene. Some people are saying this might be the end of Sova. What are your thoughts?
I definitely feel it has the potential, of course. It's a lot more info gathering than Sova, and it's a lot more aggressive in the way you can play it. But of course, speaking about aggressive, up, short come 4 members of East LA, some shots coming out, half tags up for Easter to play at the range with the Spectre. Not even having to scope in, he's just going to take the shots on him, converts onto Delusion. Issa, that's a beautiful 4. He's running last of the air, he's scoped in to make sure he's accurate as possible. Rain, done and dusted like that, will be picking up the second.
Yeah, I think that shows the mentality of where Rain are at tonight. They're not here to stat pad. They're not here to make the aces look nice. They're here to get this series over and done with. Of course, only in 1 map series tonight, Tony, for this first one before we head over to our second 1 map series. But this one, decided to see how this plays. Of course, this East LA roster, there was a lot of questions around them last year with their ability to close out games. At times, they looked really strong, but it just looked like they weren't quite able to get across the line. Mentioned, you know, thoughts. Will we see a different result this time around? Some mixed results to start their year so far as Kalashnikov just exploring middle there with Vandal in hand.
Yeah, a few cheeky warning attempted taps. Going to be taken out Issa, but not before that fragment lands. Stops the potential A main aggression from it coming in. You can see a rotate potentially from Elsa. He's thinking about going from his spawn all the way to short side. Kalashnikov looking to walk up through.
It's supposed to be a staple of Valorant, on a sense, so far. What we've seen in a lot of top tier games, Tony, that middle control is no longer one of those things that reigns supreme, and a lot of teams are happy to give it up.
Yeah, it would seem so. They're happy to let, of course, the side of East LA have it. Panic looking to spray through that smoke with the Phantom. Of course, no tags just yet, just a few warning shots. That plant will go down, so will that door Delusion. Perfectly covered, and there's the paranoia you expect to see from these omens coming through. Panic quickly trading it out, and now you can see the side of East LA. They'll have to hold on. Ares in hand of Maishu, and perfect wallbang potential if necessary.
Yeah, I understand the aggression there, just trying to take the numbers out of the game. It's a round they desperately need. Valorant, of course, only first to 13 rounds. You want to capitalize early as much as you can, so the game doesn't get away from you. But of course, it is 2-0. And Rain's just searching to try and get onto this site and make the breakthrough. But you got to imagine the task might be a bit too tall, and that's going to be the result of it. Indy and Akana combining for a big 1-2 hit there, shutting it down and bringing it to a 2-1 scoreline. They'll be really happy with that. And a great return serve. Panic will be able to save that gun heading into the next round. But a big one nonetheless from East LA, able to get that first round on the board. As I said, Panic able to save that Phantom, and there will be some sort of a buy coming through. Full armor buy there for Snow. East is going to be able to go light armor. And Maishu and Punda, they should be able to get something happening here, try and get some guns together, as we will see our first tech pause of the
Right, it seems we might have lost Charisma for a second, and you know, he was just saying that, you know, this timeout's coming through here for the side as we see a quick tech coming through. Of course, trying to get the issues resolved as soon as possible. And interestingly enough, of course, we've got Issa already with that null command online, looking to maybe shut down East LA, because there's a lot of Utah that came out in that early stage of the round, and not really much Rain could do about it. Marshall, of course, in the hands of Punda. It's interesting to see Punda. Normally one of those players that's kind of selfless. He's willing to sacrifice the kind of glory that comes from playing the duelist. And look at Rocket this evening in his best. One interesting pick out of him. Normally you see him on a Sova. We've seen him on a Viper hero there. Sky even potentially. Of course, we are getting the players ready to go once again, I believe, in just a second. Everybody. Of course, looking at East LA, a good round to pick up. Of course, they want to keep this confidence building here. Kind of a map you want to continue to build that confidence time and time again.
Standing ahead.
And of course, we will go back. Charisma, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was having enough technical difficulties in one evening to match a whole year, but nonetheless, we've made it through. Snow just holding this B main right here. Looking to shut down, but it will be East LA. They're pushing up towards this A site. Indy might just be enough to distract Snow and keep them held there for a little bit longer. The shock darts from my shoe could prove to be very troublesome. Very slow play across the board right now. And Panic will be forced away from that line. In fact, he's going to push up a bit more. I love this aggression. Delusion taking a lot of damage there through the smoke. A bit of a headache right now and forced away. And then Issa, that dagger not quite able to care. Will clutch in on one. Has the null command available for when this push comes in. Could be so valuable to hold this down. Here's the teleport. Dashing around, trying to connect those bullets. And Punda able to get one there with the Marshal in hand. Bring it to that 5v4. And of course, you have to note Delusion is low on HP, which could prove to be a very defining moment as this retake comes in.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Shock Dart lands onto Delusion from my shoe. He knows every lineup possible. Zemps now needing to line up some shots. So you can see that they're playing out in the open. I don't know about the post plate right now for East LA. Null command. He's going to be doing the silencing. Akana taking out 2. The quick trade from El Snow. Close round, but it still goes to Rain, and it is going to be the stabilizing cure. Issa's back to the plate, keeping the guns on the board here for Rain and keeping their economy healthy.
Gun here.
Yeah, I thought they weren't going to res Issa there for a moment, which would have been a costly res not to do. They did do it, and that's going to be a third round now in the board for Rain. An important third round, one they desperately needed to try and keep the momentum heading their way. The economy needing their favor right now. Look at the buy coming in from East LA. It's not great.
Right here.
It's going to be a little rough. The Guardian, some Vandals, some Phantoms, and Indy's going to opt in for the 2 to 4, so it's very workable. Of course, we spoke about the 2 to 4 in the pre-game, Tony. What a valuable asset that is to have as your ultimate. You'd have to argue it's more valuable than the Blade Storm, and even the Blade Storm can be a real game changer.
Let's play.
Now, we've seen a few of these jets really pop off with that Blade Storm, but of course, Tour de Force has been a prime candidate for pop-off too. You can hear the Yoru ultimate already going through Dimensional Drift over towards that A site, just trying to get the info. Panic is going to be sitting very patiently. They're going to take out Issa, and Panic is caught to the Yoru flash.
Yeah, that's just a strong side take there from East LA, showing their full potential. Kalashnikov just trying to dance around these bullets. Swap positions here for Punda, but will come out better. It's all left to Snow here on short, who will be forced away. He's just going to be pinched out by the 2 of Force, and that will be all she wrote for that round. It's going to be a flawless round for East LA. A really strong side take, Tony, and for the most part, never really looked like they were going to falter. And you got to imagine it. That Dimensional Drift had to be a real affecting part of that take.
Yeah, it was definitely key in getting all the info that, of course, East LA needed. They got positional advantage, they got map awareness of where these teams were coming from, and of course now we go into this round and it's Rain on an eco. And East LA with 2 ultimates from the Shadows, Hunter's Fury if necessary. And a lot of ultimates, of course, starting to accrue though for the side of Rain. We could see them pop theirs in just a second. Of course, Maya, as we said that, Panic with that Tour de Force online could look to use them on the eco. Normally that's what we see out of Chambers, of course, on a bit of a back foot. And just pull out that sniper, get some quick shots in, steal some guns away like Mai. It's going to be doing over towards B-Main.
Yeah, a chaotic start to the round. It is a 4v4. Workable situation here for both teams. You got to imagine this is totally out of the grasp of what Rain can do, but that's a costly one. The only Vandal has hit the deck. Panic does have the 2 to Force. Doesn't want to get tunnel vision here on the slope.
Down A.
And he's able to get one Maishu, another. This is all falling apart and not looking really great. For East LA, they need to find a way out of this one, but the null command was just enough. Shuts down that 2 to Force and allows to take out the Danger Man in Panic. It's all left now on Maishu. Is that the Phantom available? But there's going to be no easy way to go about this one, Tony, with that null command. That's what the beauty of it is, the ability to shut out that major impact in the 2 to Force and all of a sudden change the scope of how this round potentially was looking.
Yeah, now it's my... and now it's my dead, I was about to say. Exempts. He's going to land that shot clean, and you can see that East LA, a little bit more of a fighting spirit in this game against Rain right now. Punda, currently 2-5, does have the Blade Storm online, so we look to see him explode and his way up that scoreboard. Of course, you want to see some big plays from these duels. I'm seeing some big plays out of the KOs so far. Of course, Exempt and Issa both respectively 5 kills apiece, and really looking to set up well with these fragments and these flashes.
And there is that recon dart already. Just causing grief. This is the beauty of Sova. Look at the aggression coming up mid right now. This could spell danger, but Punda with the Blade Storm. We talk about the 2 of the Force being a game changer. Look at that Blade Storm, and now they've been pinched out here. This is all falling apart. This is a beautiful hold here from Snow. You can imagine that Hunter's Fury getting the job done. So it is the 3v4, or 2v4 rather. And the paranoia just causing all sorts of grief. Delusion getting the full treatment of utility right now, as he will be diverged on from Punda, looking to pick up that kill. Dancing around, forced to survive 2 here. We're going to take down 1, we're going to take down 2. So it's a 1v2 in a winnable situation with 55 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, you can see 1 player towards market, 1 over towards top mid. Delusion Recon, double shock still available, and of course those shocks do a little bit more than 75 damage still. No explosive. No. You can see Panic able to take it. Delusion falls, and Rain, well, they're able to pick up around and breathe themselves a sigh of relief, because East LA started to have their number in the early stages of that first half, but now we get a little bit later. And this is where the economy starts to be tested, of course. You can see for the side of East LA, the pennies are starting to run dry.
Yeah, it's, you know, I did imagine this was going to be a tight matchup, Tony, and it's proving to be so already. Of course, we don't get to see the full how tight this game really is, so we get to see both sides play the opposing defending and attacking. Punda looking to play aggression, able to get 1, and there's that jet dash. You won't get to see that happen for too much longer, Tony. Now Exempt forced to try and find his way out, shuts down Issa, brings it back to that 4v4. Punda dancing around on Captain, able to get 1, able to get 2. Punda, that's some really sharp work, old boy. He will be shut down by Indy eventually. 3v2, East LA, they want to put this one on the board just to keep the scoreline close and intact. And Exempt might have an opportunity here to take out Panic, and he does do a fair bit of damage. But it's not enough, and he will be jumped on the flash. Not quick enough, Tony. That brings it to the 3v1. All eyes on Indy to try and find a 4th round for East LA.
Yeah, it's a bit hard right now. You can see Rendezvous just came online. Headhunters are there, and the Odin from My Shoe perfectly secures it. I have to say, bringing out that machine gun. My Shoe not been doing too bad with it. The rounds he's been able to find the kills. Hunter's Fury now for My Shoe still available. And East LA, not a round they can afford to be losing right now. As I said, it's the battle of the economy going into the later stage of this half, and East LA, their buy's broken once again. Half shields for Vandal Phantom and Sheriff, and Frenzy actually for Icona. It's interesting as well because we spoke about Icona. A very reputable team player, looking to play the Yoru on a map like Ascent. I was not expecting this out of him. We've seen him on Sky. We've seen him on some other picks as well. I believe the Viper. Fragment, front, main, and that is very ambitious. Issa will be taken out early on, and low HPs though for East LA.
Yeah, and that's going to make it really difficult to win this round, despite the guns available, and that's sharp from Punda, and now the Hunter's Fury. And that's going to do some damage. Oh, it's about there or thereabouts, but not quite able to connect on those ones. But like you said, Tony, that Yoru pick, it's a really interesting one. Always necessarily going to see, and Punda just continue to wreak havoc. Has a Blade Storm available to work with as well if they need, but you can't imagine they will. As Snow gets 1, he might shoot another. All eyes left on Exempt to try and navigate his way out, but Punda does some really beautiful work there with the operator. That's the full, I guess, reign that it can have over, no pun intended, over teams. Is that operator, if you can get someone sharp on it, you can actually do those ambitious peaks with the jet, it's game changing.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that Rain, looking like the Rain we saw yesterday, a little bit more in control of what's going on, and you can see for the side of East LA, slipping back to old ways. Unfortunately, Akana down the bottom just not having the, I guess, entry prowess that we've seen from him, and especially expected of this Yoru pick. Flashes can be great. Teleport into the back of sight. A completely lined up for free, basically. Rain. Now, once again, they have to face down an East LA buy, but they've got plenty of money if they were to lose this one.
Tony, you got to see Rain last night. Their first showing publicly as this new formed roster. What were your thoughts on them? What did you see that you liked? Maybe any concerns?
I definitely enjoyed how well they were able to play off each other with the team play. Of course, Easter on this KO I spoke about previously. As I speak very much highly of Rain, they are going to be falling. East LA, though, it's a bit of a reverse card situation. They will fall too, of course. I don't think Indy can get that reboot off because Fnatic's just going to take out Exempt in the open. Vandal picked up 4 bullets. Headshot potential. Wallbang spray down onto my 1v1 here. And here's going to be Punda dropping off heaven.
We'll talk about playing off each other. They did that so well there, but Punda now wasting a couple of blades. Has the operator in hand. Got some blade storms. This is going to get really hairy. I don't actually think Punda will be able to navigate his way out of this one all that easily unless... Oh, this is a bit of a two-step tango right now. As they just dance around, and Indy ice cold claims that one. An important round for East LA and recover the operator. So that's a positive round and heading the right direction. The unfortunate reality is the economy of Rain was good enough that they're able to find another one straight away. A really good round for East LA, one they desperately needed. The economy's still not great. Of course, you do see the light armor there on Kalashnikov and the judge in the hands of Kana.
Yeah, this is it's unfortunate situation. East LA, despite winning the round, aren't in the healthiest of states. Of course, Indy does have that tour de force. It'll be popped immediately. Punda this time. Not feeling the pressure of that last round. He is just going to go for an aggressive peek B. May even find it.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice to use the tour de force when you had the operator in play. Nonetheless, they are going to start to work their way. You have to imagine B will still be the option here as Punda looks to eradicate any sort of mid-control issues. Might find any love for it just at the moment. They all do start to roll over towards this B site now, and when it's go time, this could get really hairy. A couple of options here for East LA to work with. They have From the Shadows, the 2 to 4 still in play. Issa, he has that null command available. Potentially, you have to imagine that would be more than likely for the retake. But look at this, the numbers start to travel over towards the B site now. And it will be that From the Shadows to the back side, and it looks like Punda might have an idea, and Punda does have an idea. He comes out, Clutch gets one there, and he... No!
Spike down, B.
Able to get a couple.
One enemy remaining.
And then Punda getting that one there. It's all left to Indy to try and navigate their way out. The null command
left.
was good. Finally gets that 2 to force back. Collects on that one. Collects on another one through the flash, and it's all down to these last two. And this round could still slip out of the hands. It's all on Indy to try and find something. But Maishu trades it out. Indy nearly had that, or did have to ace to try and win that round, but it wasn't quite enough. 7th round in the board for Rain, as they've at least secured the lead heading into the second half. Tony, really strong showing there from Indy, but not quite enough.
Yeah, Indy's always a sharp player to watch out for, because Exempt up there with him. 13-8 for Indy. That's a team effort across the board. Once again, look at Issa's assists. 14 on the KO. Getting knife info, getting flashes for his teammates set up. I really like to see Issa on this KO right now. Rain, of course, still a buy. East LA, it's a broken one. Light Shield, 2 Vandals for Delusion and Lakana. 2 Sheriffs now. Hunter's Fury off of the recon and off of the info that they know where Punda is. They have tagged him up. We'll be able to dodge the last shot. Now Punda's just going to play for the jump peek and attempted Wallbang almost lands.
Yeah, I think you saw the shoulder there, but wasn't quite enough. Punda already severely low on the HP. Kind of struggling here on the Yoru so far throughout this matchup, and if there's any time to make an impact, it's right now. Heading into the last round of this half, trying to get every round so valuable. You can't let this game get too far out of your hands. Of course, only a BO1. There's no warm-up maps. There's no sort of working your way into it. It's go time from the first round. At the moment, Rain have been the ones that have been able to deliver the most. And look at this angle from Snow. Just that high angle might be enough there just to get the pick. And now it's all happening here on the A side. Issa flashes out, decides going wasn't the best option as Snow takes care of one entry. He might be able to take care of another. Delusion getting their best there. Look at that flash, and this is going to get really spicy. Issa's in a very precarious position, will be taken down. Delusion gets one as well. Maestro trades it back and falls down to this 2v2.
And make it to the none. Kalashnikov hit some beautiful shots there. And Punda falls 5. And East LA find the final on the half. Here, 7-5. As much as you can want for East LA, I feel, after Rain really started to get on a tear in that last half. You can see 3 in a row. Now we swap the sides. It's Rain now to the attack. And interestingly enough, this is, I feel, arguably the better side for them in terms of what we saw yesterday out of them in their best of 3 against this same roster. Their attack just looked very, very dominant. Teammates were flashing for each other. Corners were held, covers were crossed, and it was just some clean gameplay yesterday out of Rain. Yeah,
well, you mentioned earlier that they worked off each other really well. That's what you were impressed with, probably the most part about them. And so if they can replicate some of that, what impressed you earlier, Tony, what impressed you last night, then it's sure to be an absolute treat heading into this first attacking round, the pistol round. Punda looking to make first contact with that ghost. Dashes in. Kalashnikov with the paranoia. I think it's a miss there. And Kalashnikov able to get the best there of the jet, the dangerous jet in Punda. Now it's Rain trying to get onto the site, trying to make an impact. It's all getting very spicy. It's a bit of a messy round so far. And it will be getting taken down as well. The tree room door will fall eventually. Spike down though, so they do have that going for them with 3 players tagged up here on the retaking side. This could get very messy, Tony. Not a lot of util left to work with for these attackers. You know, it's far from free right now as Maestro went for the aggression, wasn't able to meet it. And none of these players seem to be hitting their shots right now. This will be a free round for East LA.
And you can see how close they got low. 3 HPs. Very in the red. And you can see a much needed round, I feel, for East LA to keep this streak going. Rain looked a little bit rough going into that take. You saw a little bit of an aggressive peek towards door that didn't pay off, and it just, one by one, the dominoes just started to fall over here. And, well, for East LA, you're lucky if that's the way Rain are looking going into the second half. Vandals, not, of course, just yet. Spectres and a Marshal. For the side of East LA, just going to be Class 6, and unfortunately, no shield investment.
Yeah, this round better get on the way now. Maestro gets a bit of info there. There might be some players lurking around pretty close. And they're forced to try and duel this one out against some very favorable weapons for the defenders. But Snow's able to take down Ikana. And that is a massive pick early. Big Sam's already on this flank to the 4v4. They need to work their way out here. The best option's got to be go here. Oh, the attackers and Delusion able to get one there. And this could get very, very spicy. Maestro good for 1. Might be able to get a second if they can take out Indy. This is a big kill if they can. But oh, Indy, not like this. Just getting it done with the headhunter. Then Exempt comes through. Only needed to hit them on the toenail at that point to clean up the damage. So that's a good start for East LA, evening this scoreline back up. The rifles will come out this time for Iconic, where they, or not Iconic, Rain rather, where they now need to get themselves on the board. They need to try and get some rounds moving their way. Otherwise, the momentum might be too far gone in just a couple rounds from now.
Yeah, East LA. This is what I wanted to see out of them yesterday. Of course, they're showing up to play today. All on the cards, all chips are down for this best of 1. And for Rain, of course, that was just an eco for them. Just wanted to get the spike down, get some extra cash. Now have Vandals and Phantoms. Of course, interestingly enough, only light shields for Issa has opted for the util to help their teammates out. An aggressive peek coming through from B main here. It's very interesting to see Indy going for this kind of play. Oh.
Yeah, and they do start to work their way closer and closer towards this A main. The smoke comes in. That's just more headaches for Rain as they want to get out into this site pretty swiftly. Vandal bullets start to come through. Issa gonna send in this dagger, try and remove some abilities. Exempt still able to keep his. In fact, he might be able to shut down for the old Uno reverse card. That's 4 abilities out of play. It's an Angel coming in now. Exempt gonna throw the frag in. And so far, so good. All peachy, but that's a big pick there from Issa. But he's in a lot of danger behind that Radiant Knight, but will get the urge on. Spike will get down. And Maishu come through with a clutch kill to not let Akana reign too much longer. He's still 8. Big retake here for Indy if he can get it done. Just the operator to work with. Panic doesn't need to peek this. Other player in hell. Tony, this will be a good return serve here, but a costly return serve for Rain, who seem to find a way into this second half.
Yeah, Indy forced to save, and it'll be 8 to Rain. I feel that's where they want to be at. They want to get, you know, as close to 9, as close to 10 as quick as possible. That's when we've seen them really start to close it out from there. When they hit 9, it just starts to really all click together. They're able to find some confidence. They're able to take some aggressive fights, and well, they're able to do so that round. East LA, broken economy for a few players, so it's just going to be the Op Vandal in this round. Oh, no, not a Vandal. Hero Spectre. Yeah, of course, with the Operator. And for the side of with you, oh, sorry, not Raid, not with you. With me, that's just my shooter. Because Hunter's Fury online from the shadows too, and their economy starting to stack up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it appears reading's not our strong suit, Tony, because we've both got the names wrong. Ooh, Lindy could be in some trouble here. And that was too risky to just hang around, but was to fall eventually into the hands. And that just opens the door for Rain to get onto this B site for basically free at this point. They're going to clear, but they'll find no one there. Free site, the flash coming through. It's just a scare tactic. This is a massive round. Panic gets one. Oh, Exempt shutting down Issa. They're the ones that leave you tilted, Tony, when it feels like a free kill and then you get one digged. So this is a big retake here if East LA can get it done, but I can't imagine or can't see a world where they're getting onto this site.
You can also interestingly see that Rain stacking this B main kind of side, opting to keep that Vandal completely guarded. Nobody from East LA going to be picking that one up anytime soon. Honda need to be hitting some shots, but they all go to El Snow and Maishu. Not even needing the Hunter's Fury for the execute. It's just the kills, the precision gunplay out of Rain, and 9 now on the board. And this is where they start to get scary as we go later stage of half. Of course, we're still around the middle, and Rain are getting pretty close here. Ideally, just a few more rounds. 1-2 break the economy. East LA crumble. And we could be seeing an early departure here for East LA tonight.
Let us hunt.
Yeah, a big pressure situation now for East LA. They had a beautiful start to this half, but it's all been Rain since. I guess you could say they're reigning supreme. That's a good dagger there from Exempt. A good little bit of info. Something to work with. And of course, it's interesting to see that teams have opted in for this double info type situation on Ascent. They find it so valuable with the KO and the Sova to work with. Will Sova hang around in the coming days? Well, that remains to be seen. As it looks to be a bit of aggression here from East LA, trying to do something different here in B main, waiting, but they're not going to find any love for it. Spike hanging around mid. In fact, there's 4 of the attackers stacked up in the mid side here. Panic will clear out A main, making a way for the team to come in. This is a really defining moment, you'd have to imagine, in the series of this matchup, and that's a massive dagger. Picking up so many of these attackers. And now there comes the null command, and that might just be enough to allow room to get this done for the attackers. The avenue of apprehension now for the defenders is they can't push onto this site with any ease whatsoever. And Spike down into a 5v4. One member already tagged up and Exempt. Tony, this round holds so much weight, and the numbers disadvantage and the HP disadvantage is not what these defenders need.
They definitely don't need Honda to be holding that spot. Akana able to just walk up for short for free. Maishu forced to pull off the hero play on the swing. Now it's a 1v1. It's El Snow versus a low HP Indy, 21 HP versus a full 150. Teleport's going to be used to bait. And he's actually just going to be teleporting over towards A main, and Indy's just going to stick it, but El Snow able to reposition perfectly. Rain pick up 10. And clutch 1v1 from Elsner.
Yeah, clutch indeed. The from the Shadows ultimate pop was one that was interesting. I was like, oh, how does this look? Is that going to be a good idea? And then the balls on Indy to hold that defuse. I thought they might just try and hold it all the way through, and it would have been enough to get the job done. But decided to get off and try and fake that one out. Wasn't to be a 10th round in the books for Rain. And an eco round coming through once again. Indy only one away from this 2-4, so a kill would be allowing him to drop that Vandal to another player and then pop the 2-4 if they wanted to. So there's a little bit to work with here. Delusion just taking out that drone. Look at the aggression here in mid. East LA, they're trying the same sort of game on this defending side that doesn't seem to be working. Might be time to rethink how they're going about it. Akana with the judge will be cleaned up from behind from Punda. And that's the B site once again coming fairly free for this attacking side as Punda just continues to mop up. Eventually shut down by Indy.
That's a great trade back, but my immediately answers is that's a sharp shot. Kalashnikov doesn't even know what hit him before he's dead. Rain finding 11. And interestingly enough, keeping so many players alive on their kind of post-plant situations has been East LA's downfall because the economy is just great. You can keep a hold of these guns, they keep the Vandals online. And East LA, this is make or break. We're 11-7, we've seen it from them time and time again. We saw it from them yesterday. And, you know, unfortunately, both times it was Rain coming out on top. Well, I believe in East LA this time. I feel they've got something up their back pocket here. Of course, Indy does have the tour de force, and Kalashnikov does have the From the Shadows that can be used for some info.
So we're going to come down to who can get the first pick here as Punda looks to break onto this site. Null Command coming in as well. That's the tour de force out of play. This is big, and this is painful right now. Oh, and Indy has been caught looking the wrong... Or East, rather, been caught looking the wrong way. This is a clutch hold. Akana getting it done. The null command was irrelevant, it seems to be. Somehow, Indy found a way out. And Issa will not be brought back to life here, and it's all going to get cleaned up. As you said, Tony, they needed a big hold, and East LA found a way with 2 members left to spare. They take down a raging Rain. They had all the tools to do it, Rain. They had the null command, they had the blade storm. It just wasn't to be, and the timeout called from Delusion. You know, they know how important it is to try and close out this series. They don't want another repeat of last night, so now they need to find a way to close it out tonight.
Yeah, and of course, this is a battle of the grudge match, of course, of international superstars, Elsno and Kalashnikov. Of course, we saw them both go overseas to represent New Zealand, the Mamas boys, if you knew them, or if you recognize the name, of course, Campus Clutch team here from the side of Elsno and Kalashnikov. So, rivalry's going at it in the server. And of course, I have to give credit to my shoe. 23 kills. Men led the charge yesterday for this Rain roster. Still leading the charge today. And, you know, I spoke yesterday. Mai not historically one of those players that puts up crazy numbers. He's kind of in the background setting up for his teammates. Kind of a big clutch player at times as well. But of course, not this performance. 23 and 12. Very big game out of Mai.
Yeah, I agree. I think My Shoe's one of those players that is to get in there and do the hard yards, the one that's not always thanked or put on the highlight reels. But every now and again, you get these plays from Mai, you get these games from Mai where they just come out to play and just remind you the skill level that they have. And what a time, like right now, has definitely been an impact and the reason why Rain are in the favorable position they are. But the job's not done, Tony. It's 11-8. They still have to get 2 more rounds on the board, all providing it doesn't go to overtime. There is the dimensional drift. And good info coming in from Akana, but Elsno able to get 1 there. And Akana forced to fall back in the tree. The carriage door is closed. And will be tated as such. And look at this mid control now coming in from Rain, who are doing it as easy as you like. It's going to be big for Delusion here to try and get a hold, try and get a pick. But Punda comes out better.
A big pick from Punda, and you can see that Kalashnikov, the only one standing to stop match point from happening here for Rain, and Punda scoped in on the line. Unfortunately, miss of the shot. Not what we expect out of Punda. I've seen his aim labs routine. I've seen what he's very capable of when you give him the right situations, and especially on the duelist where he can play very aggressive or very passive if he wants to, and is able to dash out if he loses a fight here or there. And well, 12 match point Rain, 8 for East LA, and a absolutely broken and battered economy. You see only Judge, Spectre, Full Shield, Vandal here for Exempt. I doubt he's got much util to work with. This could be Rain finding his first best one early on.
Punda looking to get the job done once more here with the operator in hand. If he kind of peeks, this will be over. This will be the end. Oh, there's the shoulder peek. Tony, not like this. The fake out. Punda knows better than that. But the Hunter's Fury comes back, and again, Punda will just be bullied by this Hunter's Fury. We saw it earlier in the game, but it's allowed Elsto just to walk up for absolutely free. We'll only get one for the efforts. In fact, Delusion comes out with a quick 2. Really impressive stuff there at a time they needed it the most. The hold, again, from East LA seems to be there. I'm not sure they'll be expecting Indy right there, and Indy will be allowed to swing, but Panic gets a couple. Indy only good for one. Exempt gets one as well. It's all left on to Panic to try and find a way out, but Exempt shuts it down, and that will be a 9th round in the books for East LA, who continue to just remind Rain that this series is far from over, and they're able to claw their way back in a little bit longer.
East LA, of course, on the back foot, economy-wise, still able to rally the forces. Exempt null command. Hellsnow from the shadows. Panic tour de force here. You can see we're going to go as a stack towards a nobody. Going to be Loki. Nobody going to be holding.
You want to play? Let's
the other
play.
sort of different angle. It's just all to it. Yoru Flash, of course, walking into that corner. No, nobody's completely fooled. Indy. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, I love that play there to follow the fake through, and it proved to be absolutely useful, and that's the power of Chamber, isn't it, Tony? The ability just to use those ambitious peaks and get away. And it's opened the door once more for East LA just to stay in this one. The early pick, so crucial in taking down a team like Rain. But still so many impact players left on the board. Elsto has been a big part of this attack so far, but Punda, they can produce some magic again. It's anyone's series. It's anyone's round. Of course, as you said, Maishu been the standout for Rain so far, and Indy gets another one. As I was about to say, Indy's been the standout for this East LA roster with 23 kills on the board. And Punda finally getting one at a big cost of HP. Tony, this is a bit of a flip of the coin this round. Ideally, they need to shut down Indy.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they definitely do. Punda.
I can't use that.
Actually, not going to be slapped out of head. Interestingly enough, that trip was, of course, triggered by Punda. Has crossed up through Market. Nobody else has those. 2 teammates still was that Market side. Might be looking to back up there. Punda.
10 seconds.
Shot to Indy, and Issa has heard a player. Now has to do it himself. Fragment available. Spike is down at B. Low HP for 2 members, but of course low on the clock. East LA. I think they're lucky stars that take to B was a little bit rough. And they will be playing another round at 23 for Indy. Top of the board with Maya. Even Stevens here. And Rain, they're forced to maybe eco here. You can see the money's not the greatest, but they will be investing. Bladestorm, 1 off. Hunter's Fury, 1 off. East LA. This is where they can find overtime. This just 1 round with a very rough economy for the side of Rain. It's doable.
Yeah, you have to say this round really will define if we do go to overtime or not. And Snow, he needs to stay alive, but there is a player there hiding in Wine in Ikana, and that could be so crucial. If Ikana swings at the right time here, just like that, that will be a big headache and a big danger player, and Punda taken out of the game nice and early. Just opens this avenue a little bit more. The door creeps a little bit further open for for East LA to try and find this overtime situation. And what a way to start this series, or start this XP Valorant Open, Tony, than overtime situation. We love overtimes, and we're gonna not quite able to connect there. I think Flash themselves a little bit.
Yeah, an unfortunate flash there. Bait of the shot from El Snow. Very interesting now to see that all of Rain are grouping up towards the short side take. But they know that there's players on the other side of that smoke just behind the gate, just behind the door. My shoot, dart over to mid. There was a fake up short side. They're going straight towards B. The teleport to the back side. El Snow, a valiant effort, but Kalashnikov's able to read it. Here come the rest of Rain.
Yeah, and this all is going to fall apart. Exempt holds strong, gets a couple. Kalashnikov gets a couple as well. And it's a beautiful round for East LA. And they are now really making a statement on this series. It's taken them a little while to get going, but just like a fine wine, Tony, it's aged. It took all series, but all map, and we're here. And East LA really starting to find their rhythm. And as you alluded to earlier, this would be a poor buy coming in for Rain if they lost this one. And look at the buy now. It's a classic, and the Blade Storm for Punda. My shoe does have the Hunter's Fury, a Phantom available, light armor Vandal for Snow, Panic has the Vandal, and Esa with the Phantom as well. And that's a beautiful bit of utility uses there. Punda wants to just get this over and done with. He knows there's too many on site to go on his own. He needs to settle down. Hunter's Fury now coming through. There's the null command. This is going to get very, very hairy. My shoe having to take out Exempt. Bring it to... Now we're 5v3, and Rain want this over and done with. It's all falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, and just as we were gassing up the potential of an overtime, and, well, the foot's on the gas here for Rain, a straight up A take. Be interested to know who the IGL is, because that's a great call, and that was a great explosive execute to that site. You saw that nobody was safe from that Hunter's Fury, nobody was safe from Punda going deep in the Blade Storm. Pete from Akana not even able to teleport to safety. It's gonna be Kalashnikov 1v4.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play there, wasn't it? And that's the Rain we were teased. What you talk about in the pregame, that this team that works so well together and executes so well, and that's what we got. And that's a beautiful paranoia there. But Kalashnikov, even for a player as good as they are, this might just be a task a little bit too tall to try and break through. Is able to get one, needs to get another one, can't get another one, but it will be Panic shutting that one out, and Rain claim that one by the narrowest of margins, Tony. A 13-11 victory, if you don't mind. And congratulations to Rain, who claimed their first win of this series, Tony. An impressive one, a chaotic one, if you don't mind, but a beautiful series nonetheless. As we have a look at the scoreboard there, it was My Shoe 24-16, Indy 23-16, Exempt 20-16, Punda right there as well. So it's a bit of a contribution of fraggers across the board. And you look there, it was a fairly even spread of the kills for the most part.
Yeah, you can see, of course, 19. Punda starting to get up there with Mai and Panic, El Snow, Esa, 18 effective flashes. Once again, well, I say effective flashes, I feel like that's where the 18 assists have come from. Of course, an econ rating of 40 overall. Overall, well played. I have to say, Rain, just when it kind of looked like overtime was on the cards, they were able to put their foot down and able to send it straight over towards that A site and just exec so perfectly.
Yeah, it was a beautiful series, and one that was no better way to start off our Valorant XP Open series. Of course, powered by Computer Alliance and Intel and our good friends over at Zowie. We got to go. We can't say any more without thanking them. It's an incredible pleasure to have them on board with us. But it will be Rain coming away with this one by the narrowest of margins, Tony. It could have gone any way. But for now, Rain, they take the W heading into next week. We'll get to see them in action, of course, next week. I can't wait to see what more they bring to us. And East LA, they'll be caught licking their wounds for the rest of the week, as they need to reset and get themselves ready for next week. But you and I, Tony, we're going to rest these beautiful little vocal cords here. I hope you need to rest yours too. And we'll be back in just a few moments. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that browser. We'll be back in just a few moments.
below.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's good to have you back with us, of course, for the XP Valorant Open Series, of course, powered by Computer Alliance and Intel, and our good friends over at Zowie. Two-Tap Tony, of course, joined me alongside in the cast. Tony, good to have you back. What an exciting first series that was. But, you know, we have to turn our eyes to a whole new series. A new challenger has entered the arena. We do have our fresh new series coming right up. You see it there. It's Fun Crew taking on the Sam Fam Fan Club in what is sure to be a powerhouse matchup.
Yeah, no, I hope that's Sam Fam's picture. He's looking handsome, looking like he's smiling, looking for a W, this Sam Fam Fan Club roster. Of course, we saw Fun Crew, very reputable roster. Of course, recent additions from, I believe, this old Sam Fam roster. I believe Andy and Norson, or Yakuza, used to play on the Sam Fam Fan Club roster. Now coming over to Fun Crew, and you know, we've seen Fun Crew, what they can do when they're on, and we saw Fun Crew, of course. You see them in front of you, Freshest, Easy, Norson, Andy, and Yakuza. We've seen a resurgent performance out of them. Of course, the Fun Crew old seem to be back, and Freshest seems to be leading the charge very well for this roster, especially with his new incorporation of the Chamber pick for him.
Yeah, Fresh is a sharp pick, and it seems Chamber's been a bit of a career-changing sort of agent for a lot of players. You know, just the way he's been able to incorporate himself into his lives, which was spoken about tonight. Then, of course, you had this Easy, Norson, Andy, and Yakuza. So a good little roster there. And probably what we've talked about off-stream a couple of times, Tony, is this is the strongest Fun Crew roster we've seen to date. So I'm excited to see what they can achieve and like what that really looks like for them. But, of course, Fun Crew, they're not only the only team joining us tonight. They need to verse somebody. And that's why we've got our other team in the Sam Fam Fan Club. Let's have a look at their roster. There is Mirza or ANDR, Element, KZR, and Nivik all rounding out that roster. It's some tough names on the tongue there, Tony. But you know you've seen these guys a fair bit. Run me through. What do you think? How does this roster look together? Are they a winning roster? Do you think they're going to cause any issues for Fun Crew tonight?
I definitely feel they've got the potential. Of course, you've got KZR, who, he's got a lot of competitive experience under the belt. I believe he played all the way back in ROV Rise of Valor. It was, the Ignition series for Valorant. And it's kind of one of those first early tournaments. We saw KZR, I believe, on McTeam way back ago. And it's good to see him back. We saw sharp numbers put up him from that series about a year and a half ago. So hopefully he's still got it. Of course, Mirza, Ander, very, very respectable names. Mirza, a great Sentinel player to have on this roster. And I feel it's going to be explosive. Of course, we've seen Element. He's pretty sharp Sova, knows a few lineups here or there, could potentially maybe catch Fun Crew off guard if they're not looking for them. And as well, Kevin, Nivek, it's going to be interesting to see. I believe last time I saw Kevin on the Duelist was all the way back in a different league about a year and a half ago. So, it's been a while since I've also seen Kevin in this roster. Subs, Hennessy, and Dees. Unfortunately, we won't see them this evening, but from what I've heard, they're very, very sharp. Dees, especially in the ranked queues, has been tearing it up.
Yeah, well, there are the side-by-side rosters. Excited to see how this one shapes up. To go through it one more time, it's Freshest, Easy, Northern, Andy, and Yakuza, and then it's Kevin, KZR, Element, and then Mirza to round those rosters out. Should be an exciting one, but we need to figure out what map we're going to be on. Let's have a look at the picks and bans that have happened. We're ready for them. We're ready to have a look at this map, Veto, and as you can see, again, Fraction, the first one knocked off. Poor old Fraction, Tony. And then Bind, Breeze, Ascent, Icebox, Split, all sent on their way. And thankfully, Tony, for you and I at least, we get to see something a little bit different. We're going to go cast some Haven. I love Haven. It's my favorite map in the pool. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out. And depending on what picks and bans we get, or what picks rather, Haven can be a very chaotic map, or it can be very structured depending on what sort of agents you get in that pool.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Of course, looking at these picks and bans, once again, not going to be seeing Fracture, Breeze, Split, very expected bans, but Bind, obviously, a very interesting band out of the side of Fun Crew. Ascent, one of their, arguably, I feel, worst maps for a team like Fun Crew. Haven't put up the results on it in recent times. Of course, Icebox, smart read from the Sam fan. We've seen Fun Crew decimate that map time and time again, and Andy, not Ander. Andy, very, very sharp at taking some kind of very high angles on that map. Of course, updrafting, taking a lot of space for a team like Fun Crew. But of course, Haven, and I feel not a bad start for this best of one, and not a bad start for the tournament here, the Sam Fan Fan Club, because they get to start defense too on this map.
Yeah, Sam Fam, as you said, will be starting on the defending side, which is really a strong place for them to start and feel their way out. Fun Crew, they'll test your defensive skills. They test how good you look there, as they are such a strong starting team. Yeah, always excited to see what Fun Crew have to offer on the attacking side. Whether, like, no matter what roster, the shape of form this roster's taken, Tony, they always seem to be fun on that attacking side, don't you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I feel Sam Fam kind of want to incorporate this looser style that we've seen from them in other tournaments. Of course, Fun Crew probably bringing a very regimented play here. They've been practicing for weeks. They've been, of course, they've got a few other tournaments coming up too that they probably want to get some practice in for. And of course, none other than, of course, a team to test that than the Sam Fam fan club, who known for some wild aggression and some kind of wild plays out, especially on a map like Haven. I'm interested to see their attacking side. It's going to be crazy. Of course, what we see out of the picks, I'm not quite sure because, you know, it's been a while, as I said, since we've seen a few of these players. I'd expect they'd be putting KZR on the doors, but who knows?
Yeah, well, we get to figure that out right now. So we are going into the agent selects. Haven about to get underway, of course. I do need to remind you, this is only a best of one series. So Haven's the only one we're going to see. And here are the agent selects. And KZR going to lock in that chamber straight away. Flesh just doing that as well. Andy going to go for the jet. Looks like Andy might be looking toward that Omen. Mirza looking at the sky. Smokinder on the jet. Looks like Element might be nearly opting in for the double duelist set up here. Yeah, Tony, what he's seen so far as Element does drift over towards that's so where I'm traditionally used to seeing him play. Some interesting agent selects coming in there from the Sam Fair Fam Club.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're opting for, of course, Mercer to the Sky, and KZ are actually going to be playing the Chamber. So that's a little bit of an interesting pick, of course. And we've seen smokes out of him. Omen, pretty stock standard kind of pick for a guy like Ander. And as well, rest of Fun Crew looking to get into their locks and picks. Fireball, of course, easy. We'll be referring to him as either because, you know, whatever flows off the tongue. Pierce, you know, he's lost his alias once again. We had it back in a different tournament, and he's gone again. Norson, of course, on the Omen. It's also an interesting thing to see because, you know, Norson historically been a heavy Sentinel player, and, you know, on a map like Haven, I feel like Sentinel's still not a bad pick, but of course they've got the Chamber in the play. You kind of don't want to run that double Sentinel. It runs really rough on that attacking side.
Yeah, double Sentinel is not a fun time on the attack, but we're going to see how this one plays out. Map 1 of the OS 1 series, and the pistol round about to get underway. Of course, to remind you, it's Element, Mirza, Smakinda, Ander, and KZR starting off on this defending side to see what they can get done. Sam Fan Club taking on Fun Crew in this one map series. The clock starts to get underway, and this is sure to be an exciting series. Of course, shout out to our lovely observer tonight, Crash OBS, bringing us all the beautiful pictures you see here on the stream tonight. And then our admin, Alex, getting it all done, keeping us nice and organized, Tony. And, you know, Lord knows we need it.
Keeping organized, as you can see, Sam Fan Club caught in the peak mid there. Just a great angle to hold. One play underneath window and one in that close cubby front of B. And Fun Crew actually able to read it. You see, though, not going for that kind of beat take, and a little bit slow to the draw. Yakuza able to pick it up, overhealed to full 150. Two players front of B, and Andy might be looking to take them on.
Grounded.
Oh, and Andy just put to sleep straight away. It is still a 2v3, though. The task mighty tall. And that shock dart is brilliant. Oh, fireball. Oh, Smakinda through the wall. If you don't mind, brings it to that 2-on-2. That's some beautiful work. Now it is still a mountain of a task as both players playing towards the long position. Norton is low HP. They need to get on this spike fairly shortly. Smakinda, he needs to be defended if he's going to defuse this one, as the Sheriff shots are not able to connect, and you've got to imagine that might be all she wrote for this series, Tony, as Element will fall. And that is a great first round in the books for Fun Crew. A little shaky there at parts, and it was a good fight back from the last two in Smakinda and Element. Of course, that Sheriff shot to the wall. It gave me a glimmer of hope that it might be on. Sheriff Shot's not quite able to connect there on long. So 2 kills there to open that one for Sukinder, and 3 on the board for Yakas. I saw a couple of hot starters there from the duels.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Yakuza, of course. We spoke about Andy's duelist prowess on that Jet, but Yakuza's one of these players as well that's still a prominent duelist, but he's been playing a lot more util-oriented. We saw him on KO, I believe, just a few days ago, and Fun Crew really definitely used that KO pick from Yakuza to perfection. As you can see, going up for a straight A-Seek. He's going to be smoking it up. Dashing on in is Andy. Of course, pre-patch Jet can still do it so quickly. Able to find Element and Merza lined up, and going to be meeting the same fate as 2 of his other teammates. And Andy's just continuing to get them all. They've spotted KZR. Also not going to give Andy the ace, unfortunately. Flawless, though, for Fun Crew. They take a second.
Yeah, I think we saw the same thing in our last series, didn't we? That it appeared that there was going to be an ace on the cards. I think it was Kalashnikov had 4 very quickly, and then someone else from the team rounded out the 5th. And this time, the same case happens. Really good entering there from Andy. As you said, it has such a prowess on that Jet roll. So it's nice to see them off to a hot start. When Fun Crew are really moving, Tony, I know we touched on it in the pre-game, but when Fun Crew are rolling and they seem like they're in their flow, they're one of the most exciting teams to watch for me.
Yeah, Fun Crew just kind of all out aggression when we see them in that flow state. Merza, of course, going to be smoked off, held off by the Owl drone. Forced away potentially from that angle. That dart actually, though, amongst the smoke, Yakuza checking the close angle. Merza is still sitting in that corner, just didn't budge a muscle. KZR and the muscles here to hold it down that C site. And as we spoke about Fun Crew's kind of flow state mentality, it's been absolutely thwarted in this third by Sam Fam Fan Club.
Yeah, it was a beautiful hold there from Sam Fam. They won, they needed. They had the rifles in hand, and they couldn't afford to lose that one. Otherwise, they'd be finding themselves back on that economy round. So it is over the 2-1 scoreline. It was a big team contribution from everyone. Element still struggling to get themselves on the board, same as Freshest and Fireball yet to kind of get themselves in the mix. But you can't imagine with players like this, they'll be held down too long. That's why they did. Of course, it was, as we alluded to in the pre-game at the top of the cards, 16 teams all fought for their position in this tournament. Only 4 came out with their opportunity to play. And these are the 4. We've had 2 already. We had East LA and Rain. Now we get these 2 wonderful teams and Sam Fam and Fun Crew. Andy is sitting down in sewers, slowly starting to work their way through. Will be met by the Gunfire Squad and Element and Superkinder if they do dare even peek. Looks like Fun Crew, Tony, they're willing to play the slow game on this one and feel out. And he sort of pushes. Maybe they're searching for a bit of an overextension. But for now, Sam Fam, they hold strong.
Yeah, I'll drone through Garage. Clears every possible angle for Yakuza. Does pop the trap. The smoke goes up the window once again. But Yakuza backs off. Gonna group up with the rest of the team. Fun Crew in 50 seconds. Very spread about the map, but end goal definitely going to be that A site. But they have to deal with Swakinda up top of these boxes, and still, as we check for the moment, Fresh knows exactly where he is, but he's showing too much of his head. There, Swakinda able to take another kill, and this is a rough take now to go for Fun Crew, but Yakuza able to take out the kill and heal up to full. Now has all the HP to work with. Lear out. No peek from Yakuza just yet. He's taking it very low. Able to take out Merza. Flick Yakuza. Wallbang on the Element. Up walks Element. Up walks Fireball.
10 seconds
1v1. 9 seconds to get that spike down, but needs to kill Ander. And Ander's just gonna bait. Easy. Easy bait, it would seem. Fun Crew by 3. 1v1 from Easy, make it 2v1. Overall, 5 kills across the board for Fireball and Yakuza.
Easy like Sunday morning, Tony. Wow, what a hold there from Easy, getting the job done. Truly remarkable. I thought once he committed to that plan, it might have been GG go next on that round 2. But wow, what a clutch, what a hold. That puts the 3rd round in. That's a bit of a head scratcher left now for Sam Fam. They look like they had that round by the scruff of the neck, but that avenue opened up for Yakuza to get that kill and then get the heal underway, which brought them back to more than full HP, about 13 armor as well. And that was enough to get 2 really sharp kills and leave the rest up to Easy. Will this round come as easy for Sam Fam? Will they be able to find the answer this time. They were close before. Can they do it now? An important round at 3-1 as the clock does start to tick down. It's again a patience game. It's been a bit of a story of this first, or this map here so far, is both teams willing to play the slow game. Mercer, aggression down mid. Tony, what, SamFam, what do you think's going to be the secret of busting open Fun Crew?
I feel giving Fun Crew a lot of respect. You kind of want to just take these fights against them and force them into some precarious spots here. Of course, Mercer in a precarious spot, but able to find out Yakuza. Seekers will come and he's out. Get taken out by Freshest on the flat. Norson tries to TP to top side in the face of KZR. Easy. Not able to trade it back.
30
Fireball.
seconds left.
Now 1v3 with 30 seconds. Needs to still get that spike down, and there's not a site really open for him to take.
Yeah, he has a bit to work with though, but he does only have 30 bullets left in the Phantom and only 5 more to spare after that. If you get this spike down, it's going to get very spicy. The Hunter's Fury, of course, that's something they can work with. Time ticking away. They can just fall on him here. They can crunch play this one. And you can't imagine Easy be able to navigate their way out. Does that miss shots? Costly missed shots, and that opens Element the opportunity to round that one out. And it turns out to be an easy round for SamFam, one they needed. Find an answer once more. Bring that back to a 1-round gap. Of course, all these teams that we have in the XP tournament, Tony, they all are around that same sort of echelon, I suppose. And so I think for the most part, this 3-week tournament we have coming up, even right through to the finals as well, will be really close and really tightly contested the whole way through.
Yeah, we definitely saw a close one out of our first game. East LA and Rain showing the definition of grudge match, if I have to say. So 2-3 right now in this one. SamFam in the lead, guns economy-wise. Fun Crew though in the lead in terms of the rounds. Attempt a shot with a tour de force already pulled by KZR. He's going to be backing off. Of course, that Aldrin gives so much presence of mind to Fun Crew and gives them actually so much space to work with going up garage.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Traditionally the duelist says, KZR able to get one. And they're in a really bad spot. Fireball, Easy going to get one there. Those are good as well. It is the 3v4 defenders. This will be a huge round if they can't claim it, and it's looking like they probably will, unless Andy can do some brilliance. Gets another one. Andy will be shut down by KZR rather, with the tour de force, and claiming that 3rd round, evening the scoreline back up. And the buy round will come through once more here for Fun Crew. It will be an awkward buy, but Freshest does have the tour de force to work with. Fireball, the Hunter's Fury, gnaws him from the shadows. And Yakuza does have that Empress. So a promising round here, despite what you see on the scoreboard. There's a lot to work with here for Fun Crew. But Tony, I was trying to touch on it before. The owl drone from Sova, and it might be a shame to see him go in the coming days with the inception of the new agent. But the owl drone, it does a lot what the duelist can to create that space, forcing you to back away.
Yeah, you saw time and time again, Fun Crew was able to take up Garage. Unfortunately, hasn't met with a round win just yet. KZR spotted up on the trip there. The trademark from Freshest. Pointing out the window. Trading our drones, it would seem, as well. Andy spotted. Hunter's Fury, though, has spotted two to short. Forces them to play either aggressive or forces them to get out of there. And Andy, get out of here, sir. 5 HP. And the site completely opened up now for Fun Crew. Will we see good players from SamFam go for this retake? Ender has taken out Andy. And has taken him out scot-free. Not a single bit of damage dealt by Andy before dying. That recon and this post plant, really good for Fun Crew.
I mean, the damage was done, wasn't it? Was when Andy was able to take that site and just do so much damage. It was great. Back up as KZR opens the avenue, but gnaws him with a big 2K. Collects the 2 headshots and shuts that one down. 4-3 the scoreline. I mean, Andy did such a brilliant take of that side, but Easy coming through with that Hunter's Fury was just enough to disrupt any sort of lines or angles the defenders were able to hold, and ultimately it was their downfall. So it was a good bit of combination work there coming in from Fun Crew. And look to see more of that. That's why they're a strong team, and that's why they're a chance to be winners of this competition.
Yeah, of course. I always have my eye on Fun Crew. One of those very strong teams. Andy We're gonna go Shorty Bladestorm this time around, keeping the economy high for Fun Crew. Deep teleport for Norson. All the way in spawn.
Oh,
The shot comes out from the Marshall. Big dodge there. An unfortunate peek from KZ. Ah, what? Ender teleported in the face. Norson takes him out. And that's an unfortunate miss. That's just all falling apart. Merza, Shorty, Yakuza, Element, Yakuza, Smoke Ender. And that's a Fun Crew Samfin round of 5 to steal one.
Well, that's a head scratcher. That is an absolute doozy. I've been there, like I've been there when they're so close, but they feel so hard to hit. And unfortunately, that was it. Norsen just wasn't quite able to get the job done. Oh, rather it was Andon not quite able to get the job done there. And well, that's another round in the books for Fun Crew, as they have started their attacking side very strong here. And that's beautiful work there with the operator getting the job done. An early hit. Flesh is taken out of the game. Yeah, Flesh is one of our highlight players of this series that we thought might be a big impact, Tony. Bit of a slow start for them so far. Here comes Hunter Fury.
The way Yakuza dodges that, just so calm. You just left, right, and then left again. And up. Takes out Fireball, takes the teleport over to the back of sight. Element. That's a shot. Norson this time. Not going to be getting any crazy pick. Yakuza. We're walking up front of A. Nobody holding front. Smokinda holding towards long side. But Merza's holding expect here. This is smart. And this is what I expect kind of out of a player like Merza. Very heralded as a sentinel. Very heralded as a very smart individual player. His game sense is great. This is what you're seeing right now. Able to read Yakuza like a book. The spike play attempted by Andy, but I don't think he's going to be long for a ride. Shot missed by Smoke into Andy. He's able to take the fights. One more. KCR. Andy. The stars align for him.
Oh. Added a bit of paprika to the mix there, Tony. That was getting spicy. Oh my god. Andy jumped on tonight and shows violence. It really seems been pretty sharp so far, and really met all the hype we talked about his prowess on the jet roll. It's been met very strongly, but you know, it's a round in the books for Sam Fan Fan Club, and one they desperately needed, Tony, as they continue just to give Fun Crew a couple headaches and not let this game run away too much. Playing really good angles, and like you said, Merza, a great individual player, and good at holding those angles, but Andy, again, just continues to lock on heads, and again, Merza won't be cleared from here. This is incredible. 2 rounds now that Merza has been able to get out of there for basically free. The troops rally around, and it's all falling apart here for Fun Crew, but it's 2v2, so a workable situation, but Element just puts a nail in the coffin, leaving the spike in mid.
Spike in the hands. Oh, and a dink through the wall. Norson. He's not going to be happy about that one for sure. Walking up through mid. He is going to be checking lower underneath the window. He's actually might have spotted both players in this position. Jiggle out from Ander. And both going to give Norson the freest 1v2 of his life. Element, that wasn't it. That wasn't the call. Fun Crew takes 6. And Norson, a beautiful tap to find it.
Wow. Norsen, as cracked as he is jacked, absolutely gets the job done on a big 1v2. But yeah, I think you might be right there, Tony. I'm not sure that was the play to double stack under the window like that and prove to be a costly one. It's easy. Oh, we've still got him. I'm glad to have him back. He went AFK there for a minute. Might be changing his Spotify playlist, but we've got him back. Did you hear about that during the VCT? I can't remember who it was. It was a player that I think it would have been
Trent.
Oh, Trent. Yeah, he plays with Spotify on. It's interesting, isn't it?
Sometimes you just gotta bump a little bit of Biggie, a bit of Tupac, and just frag out. And well, definitely Trent's a player to frag out on Smoke, and definitely has been a thorn in the side of his Fun Crew in some of these takes. But Andy looking to frag out himself. Wonder what playlist he likes to listen to in game day here. See Norson in game, very sharp. element taken out, and the spike will go down to A. It's free play here for Fun Crew. Stanfam, we're forced to over-rotate off of that aggression from Fun Crew in mid.
Yeah, I think we might see a line-up Larry type thing happening here, but KZR is on the flank. Easy backing away. They've got to be careful. It looks like the option for KZR to go down long has been met with the wrong results. The drone, that our drone, as pestering as it is, will come in. It'll clear the space. There's one. And I think they caught both the players, and this will get really spicy. There's the paranoia. They need to go, and it comes in to provide backup. He probably could have just stuck the spike, to be honest with you, Tony. But unfortunately, that will be another round in the books of Fun Crew, and they're starting to get some momentum heading their way toward the end of this first half. You heard the lady. You heard what she said last round before the switch. This is 4-7, and Sanfam Fan Club, they need to find an answer here in a very unfavorable buy.
Yeah, this is not the greatest. Spectres, full shields for 3, light shield, Vandal for Ander. I have to say, of course, Precious is just here for the ride. 16-9 for Andy. It's 12-6 for Norson. Very impressive performance out of him this evening. In this best of one. Not normally we get to see Norson put up numbers on his Omen. Another teleport to spawn. He's going to go to the same peak, but this time Ander's ready.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to fail for the same feat twice. And Andy is playing with so much confidence right now. Maybe got a bit overzealous there, I think it's probably fair to say. Our drone comes through. Yakuza will be spotted there, caught by that our drone. Just dancing around. Wants to make an impact before that Empress runs out, you'd have to imagine. Easy will navigate his way over towards the A site, where the spike will go down once more, and a forced retake again for Sanfam Fan Club. This time the numbers available, but will Yakuza just do just enough to create all sorts of pains here and continue to give daggers
Spike planted.
to Sanfam Fan Club? Spikes down, time now advantage towards Fun Crew. A big round coming up. This could be a massive game-defining round.
Yeah, you can see Yakuza going to be holding this A-Link position though, but when they come from spawn here, Dismiss perfectly timed to keep him alive for the moment. That shock will take out low HP. Yakuza expecting the swing to come through, heals himself up, and Fun Crew take 8 for the half. Perfectly played by Yakuza there. Position great for the post, and not what the side of Sam Fam were expecting. 8-4 Fun Crew, of course, taking it very convincingly on the attack side. Now get to go over to that defending side, and I feel it's going to be a little bit harder now for the side of Sam Fam to take a site. Of course, they do have the Sky Flashes available. You can see, of course, potential heal too across the board. That's something, of course, that Fun Crew didn't have on their attacking side.
Yeah, I suppose the headache for Sanfam here is that their team really isn't geared towards an attack. But you never know, the aim could just get locked in, and sometimes aim's all you need to navigate your way through Valorant. Of course, when they design the game and when they've constantly been tweaking it to try and get it towards that situation where it's not all about abilities, but Ander, he shows us what aiming's all about, getting the job done. So that's a good breakthrough now for Sanfam, but Norson taking down the opposing Omen. And they start to storm onto this side. Smakinda good for one, Smakinda good for two. And it's all down to Yakuza, and Easy, in fact, scored Easy. That's all that's left. He gets one with the shock dart. Mercer wraps it up like a tightly wrapped Christmas present, and that's going to be the end of another round, an important round for Sanfam to claim a 5th one on their little hook there, as they continue their pursuit of pushing this into the late stages of this series.
Yeah, they're on the pursuit of happiness, and it's the only way to go up right now for the Sam Fam Fan Club. Of course, Fun Crew, double shorties, Easy and Andy. I don't like this. Gonna be playing some tight angles, I expect. Easy probably over towards A lobby. Andy, maybe they'll just send it down mid with a dash.
This is what Sky's good for, isn't it? Mercer just clearing that site. Now they start to take the side. Oh, and Smakinda wanted that kill so bad, and it's allowed a Spectre in the hands of Andy, but did opt in for the shorty. And with Mercer's so low on HP, this could be a big task. The trademark right there, causing all sorts of headaches on the flank. Fueshis Trying to connect a kill there. This is a big retake if Fun Crew can get it done. This Wishes claims one there. That will do a good job every day of the week. And now again, our drones swap positions. That's a spot. Wishes just waiting to burst out. And Yakuza has been just waiting so patiently for that trademark play or the chamber to get taken down. And it's opened the door for the flank.
One enemy
And it's
remaining.
now a 1v1. Both the Sovas, both so low. But at the end of the day, Element has time and a rifle in his hands, and that's all you need to get the job done. And that's another round for SamFam. They recover the Phantom heading into the next round. They will buy into this one, not as strongly as what Fun Crew will. This will be a very big round for SamFam. If they can put this one chalked in their board, Tony, it's a good opportunity to claw their way back and potentially take the lead after economies.
Yeah, but they're staring down a full buy here for the side of Fun Crew, of course. Yakuza easy. Doing stuff with light shields, but Raid Boss Andy, 17 to 12. Look to put some big numbers up. Freshest, of course, playing high on top of B with that rendezvous. Look to get out as soon as possible. That rendezvous is actually set up in garage. A very interesting retreat position for Freshest to be in. Meanwhile, SamFam, it's going to be KZR looking for a lurk over at C. And Fresh is finding Merz over at B.
As I said, it's a big round that SamFam wanted to claim. That's a good start and a good for one. But Andy on the flank, searching, fishing for more, searching for blood. And it could all come down to Swakinda, who's not able to connect. And that provides all sort of headaches as Freshest rains down from heaven. And a good for one. Can he get a second? He will be diverged on by the full three of Fun Crew, who claim their ninth. Now only four away from securing this victory. And really momentum heading their way.
Actually thinks that would work.
Yeah, not only is momentum heading their way, it's getting out of the hands of SamFam. You saw that, you know, first two rounds, important here after an 8-4 half. Of course, now 9-6, 6-9, whichever way you read it. It's Fun Crew with 3 in the lead, full Phantoms, full everything across the board. Freshest with the tour de force. And it's going to be a big buy, make or break gun round here for SamFam Fan Club.
Bonne chance, teleport's ready.
6-9, as you said, it's a big round for them to win, and they need to do it here. They've got the guns to do it. If they don't do it this round, they're going to be forced back onto an economy and in a very unfavorable position, opening the opportunity for Fun Crew to basically end the game here and now. McKinney gets a tag on, forced to dash away. Minute 25 on the clock, and they start to work up mid now with that spike coming in just behind. Easy. Sitting back sight there, the Spectre in hand. They need to eliminate the Danger Man. He is all sorts of issues. If they can't take him out, it's McKinney getting the job done. Now the C-Link rotation coming through. It's going to be a pinch, but Element right there to clean up the mess. Shock Dart to slow down that play. Precious on the flank, getting the job done. And they're going to crunch now on SamFam, and they need to be strong enough to hold Fort Knox defense required here for the attackers.
Yeah, Freshest and Awesome coming from mid, Yakuza coming from C, Link, and Yakuza has snuck in with the paranoia. Yakuza doesn't know the KZR's just behind him in this corner. Nobody from Fun Crew knew. KZR able to take 2 Freshest. KZR, but too many players left to deal with. That's so unfortunate from Yakuza. Blinded up from the paranoia of Norson. Just maybe a missed team play, a missed comm there from Fun Crew on the retake.
That's a good spot.
Got the job done nonetheless, SamFam. Get another round. As we said, it was an important one that they were able to find a way. Fletchers does have the tour de force available and will opt in for that. Easy has that Hunter's Fury. Element has the Hunter's Fury as well. It's McKinder, Blade Storm, and from the shadows. I wonder if we'll see an ambitious one of those again. As Fletchers hunting here. Wants a kill, wants one, desperately misses the shot. That's a baited one from Element. That's probably the result they want to make him waste as many of those as he can to limit his options. And now Andy thinking about playing aggressive ups through sewers. Flesh is changing a different angle here, and I'm not sure that they'll be ready for that. But Ander too scared to move, and that's a scary one, Ander. Don't get too cheeky, my friend. Pops the smoke down the cross himself, but it just allows Andy to creep up even further up this sewers position. And this is a tense round, Tony. It seems like both teams understand the sensitivity of this round and they don't want to give up anymore.
Yeah, you can definitely see that Fun Crew want to take as much as possible, and well, Sam fam, much so the same point, you feel, going towards C now. They have to deal with Norson and Easy. The smoke off Paranoia, that dart is just going to scan up Norson for free. Nobody spotted Easy in this corner, tucked perfectly there. Yakuza able to cover the cross, and it's going to be another Vandal out the Yakuza, and he's coming in full force for the retake. The spike doesn't even go down. KZR taken by Fresh just over in the back of mid with a tour to force 10. The Fun Crew and Sam fam, now they're in an economy drought. Their economy is busted and broken. All 5 ultimates. Potential Spectre here, because of course it's got a few more dollars than the rest of them. But overall, this is where Fun Crew can really start to dictate the last few rounds.
Teleport's ready.
Yeah, Fun Crew can really run away with it here. They have the guns. But so are the ultimates to work with, and Andy shutting down.
Oh.
A big kill there. That's a terrific frag there with the operator in hand. Hunter's Fury coming through. Flesh just waiting. Claims a scalp.
Oh.
Lightstorm not able to connect. Oh, it does connect in the last dagger, and that allows the reset. But Svikinda not able to quite get it done. Element getting a 1 out for his efforts as well. Does bring it to the 2-on-2. Element does have that Hunter's Fury to work with.
I got the spike.
That could be just enough in this post-plant situation to try and win this round. Sam fam, they need this one so it doesn't get out of hand. Fun Crew, they just want to get the momentum heading their way to try and round out this game and shut down any sort of opportunity for Sam fam to try and win.
Early guiding light, Mercer actually going to be walking back into the smoke placed by Norson, and both players, of course, inching up the side, checking every single corner, because of course Sam fam could be in any position. The dart out to reveal the position of both. Perfect dart from Element. Able to fall back completely. Scott, free Hunter's Fury comes through, and now this is where Fun Crew have to swing, forced to play against Mercer 2 to short side. Smoke on top of the spike. Norton's just going to swing out in the open, and Thrifty picked up by Element. 1v1 coming huge. The Hunter's Fury and the dart picking up Sam fam their 8th.
Yeah, I think it was the right idea there from Norsen. It just wasn't the execution. It didn't meet the idea, I suppose. But probably just looking at it, I thought, yeah, it's probably the play. Use that bit of aggression, maybe catch him off guard. But it was a big seal out of the round for Element getting the job done. So now it is 8-10. Another bit of a funny buy coming through here for Fun Crew. As Andy will get the Blade Storm, but takes a lot of damage for his efforts trying to back up.
Ooh.
And Norsen, good early mid-aggression out of Garage there. Getting the job done. Empress pop for Yakuza. If they can get a bit of a roll here, this could be absolutely menacing. We'll just continue to creep around. Doesn't know there's a player sitting just outside of mid there. An Element. Oh, and he saw the head. I think Yakuza saw the head. Maybe not. And this feels... You can just feel the tension in this round. And that's the Empress Burn.
Yeah, Yakuza no longer ultimate, but still, position is great here. If Sam fam decide to rotate out and don't know that Yakuza's in this corner, this could be massive here. He can hold, of course, his fire for when he sees more than one. But 50 seconds. See Mercer on the lurk over towards B. And still, the rest of the 3 of Sam fam just waiting outside a lobby.
It's so quiet across this Haven map right now. And finally, bullets start to make some noise. Mercer trying to do something over towards the B site. It will be Smakinda getting one there. Start to try and get this A site control. Easy stands in the way, but Merz is raining havoc, and it's forced the rotate away. And it's created an absolute window. Mercer has potentially won this round for Sam just purely off that lurk and B, which was hard to ignore. Or in fact, you couldn't like
Healing area.
easy ignore it.
Yeah, you had to fight it, and of course, Norson
On my
hitting
need help.
tail end of that one. You can see easy force to save. Keep that Vandal for the next round. Of course, economy pretty flush in terms of Fun Crew's department. Of course, full side of Sam 3 alive means that their economy looking in good spirits too. Still will have to be a bloody battle in these next few rounds. Of course, Fun Crew 3 away. 12 is the magic number they want for match point. Sam not going down without a fight. 9 to 10 here, and well, they've got Ander with the only ultimate in the server. The From the Shadows could be used the way Norson used it. Take aggressive control as spawn, and maybe look to peek from there.
Look at the leaderboard. Andy already on 19 kills. Been menacing, got the operator back in hand. This long peek could be very dangerous for Element. The Owl Drone again, just providing enough headaches to force players away. Gives good info that maybe the C site's not the place to be right now. As Makindra in all sorts of troubles. Just the paranoia, and now forced in a very precarious position. Mirza able to get one. Also does take a lot of damage. Flash comes through. Not able to connect. Does connect. Takes down another. Seekers come out. Andy now in a very tricky spot. Mirza stuck on this side all on their own. Andy going to clean that one up. Brings it to that 3-on-3. Now Sam, they need to find out where they're going to go. It's the A site, but it's been read like a book from Easy. He's already over there. And this gets very tricky. He gets the feeling there'd be one there, and he cleans up. And that's a massive kill and continues to just provide more opportunities. And I'm not sure that's what Ander was going for.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate shrouded step. Freshest. And Andy to reinstate, but KZR this time is on the way mid to B. Takes that Andy. And Freshest doesn't have any rendezvous to trip.
I have them.
Target 2 has hit up KZR with the trademark over towards mid, but of course, wanted to retake that site, not going to be gifted the luxury of that one. Ander, I'm going to swing him in just a second, and Freshest missing some unfortunate shots. It's 10 to 10, and it's all even up, and this is what I want to see out of Sam Fan Club right now.
Yeah, their ability to execute and renegotiate how these rounds go has been very good. It's not a one-trick sort of deal. They're not attacking one site and feeling like that's where they're locked into. They're showing some good ability to deviate and move to different sites. It might be just enough to get them across the board. And now it's forced an eco out of Fun Crew and potentially the round sacrificed. They look to play aggressive through mid here. Yakuza coming out will be dealt with appropriately from Ander. And Sam Fam Club, all of a sudden, when they looked up against the ropes for the most part of this game, are now finding ways to break through and provide an opportunity to win this week 1 matchup against the Fun Crew. KZR gets another one there on easy, and they start to continue to take more and more map control over towards this C position. Andy looking to play aggressive with the Sheriff. Not able to get it done. We've seen a couple of those tonight. It's all left to Norsen and Freshest.
And Norsen going to be dropping slowly down that window, but Mirza's already there, ready to hold it in C. Oh, we spoke about Mirza's game sense. It's just out of this world right now. Freshest also going to fall to Mirza. 11 lead now for the Sam Fan Club. It's 1 to now, of course, their side. Andy, the rest of Fun Crew looking to buy, but this is not the situation after an 8-4 that Fun Crew were expected to be in. I was expecting it close, but of course, a strong close from Fun Crew. It's been 4 in a row for Sam Fam, and maybe they might be looking to close it out.
Yeah, certainly taken a twist of events, hasn't it? This is the last buy round for Fun Crew to try and get the job done.
Scanning ahead.
Otherwise, you have to say it's pretty much all she wrote. Andy, with that operator in hand, has already missed the cross of one player. That recon dart was enough to create the space for that. KZR already deep down in sewers. And again, Sam Fam, they're not willing to commit to any side, but KZR has turned away at the wrong time. That is painful time, but Yakuza is too hesitant to push through, but Andy, he deals with it appropriately himself. Paranoia coming through, that could be big. This is going to get really dicey as they don't expect Freshness there. Smakinda good for one, and gets another one. Freshness not able to connect there. And this is turning into a really spicy game now. The shock dart's really good there. It is 3v. Oh, Yakuza taking out Smakinda. Sharp as you like, Tony. It's now down to a 2v1. Andy cleans up the damage, and when Fun Crew look down and out, they found a way to punch their way back in. And the economy of Sam Fam, it's good enough. In fact, it's really strong that they can buy into this next round as easy as you like. So this game could go into the late stages, in fact, potentially overtime.
Yeah, 11-11. Closest we've seen it, of course, 13-10, our last game. Pretty close as well. But 11-11, Sam Fam Fan Club. I said they play with the aggression, they get to this attacking side and really start to play with Fun Crew on a psychological level. Where Fun Crew hold is where the side of Sam Fam are looking to stack it up. Of course, you can see a triple stack this long peak. Nobody looking to go sewer. Of course, Sam Fam thought differently. On the side of the map for them, trademark, triggered, taken out by Smakinda. B's completely open.
And B might just be where they shape up here. Not a defender to be seen. The hour drone coming through just to have a little peek. Won't find anything. We'll spot that flash, and that might be just enough to kind of give away where they're off to. The ceiling gets smoked, but it's not a good one. It's left a bit of a corridor there. And the Hunter's Fury now coming through. Smakinda just trying to dodge it and will do appropriately. So it is a 5v5 retake. Mers are able to heal. And this is a massive round. And it coming through. Clutch claims one. Yakuza on the flank, not able to get it. But will they expect Andy as well? Of course he will. Gets another one. Fun Crew in a very tricky predicament right now with only 2 members left on the board and 5 left. They could just fall on Norsen if he even thinks to try and defuse this, and they will. Easy good for one. Norsen gets the other, and the time's just ticking away. There's just not enough to get it done. In fact, the spike will go off. And that is a big round. Sam Fam claim a 12th. They're on match point, and Fun Crew in a very bad economical position. Will have to try and scrape together what they can to buy into this round.
Yeah, 8-4. 4-8. Sam Fam went down the first half. But attack, different story it would seem. 1 away from taking it home here on Haven. And Fun Crew, this is not the position we were expecting to see. Fun Crew, arguably the best roster they've put together on paper by far, and you know they've been showing some good signs of performance. Tour de Force out for Freshest, Blade Storm for Andy. Yakuza has the Empress too. All the ultimates popped early on by Fun Crew. They're taking no chances.
Merza does have the Seekers available to work with. Might be just enough when they dropped in for a site just to give them a bit of a pre-warning. But Andy getting one already with the Blade Storm is a massive impact kill. Taking out one of the Sam Fam. There are those Seekers. Fresh is sitting on long. Will be forced away. And back onto towards the A site. And here they come. It's a storming of the site. Norsen's used from the shadows to get over. It's going to get really messy now, you feel, as it's just the rule book, the strat book might get thrown out the window here, and it's just going to be about who can win their duels. Andy just dancing around, trying to dodge the paranoia. Element good for one, and Smakinda and Element combined for a big 1-2 hit. And this will be a win for Sam Fam Fan Club unless Yakuza can get something special done here. No Empress available.
30 seconds
the
left.
2 Lears, the heal, the dismiss. It just feels like so much pressure And this might be all she wrote. Unless Yakuza, as I say, can provide some brilliance. There's one. It is the 1v2.
Yeah, but you can see how passive Hunter's Fury is available for Element. This is almost going to have to be a crazy lineup for Yakuza. Fun Crew are going to have to go big. There it is, one from Ander. Dismiss is on top of Element, puts the pressure onto him to take the fight, and he doesn't need to. Element, you just need to hide. Yakuza, it's 12. It's overtime. Fun Crew, Sam Fam, and massive blunder at the last mark here for Sam Fam. They could have closed it.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Yeah, that was Sam Fam's to lose, and they unfortunately have done so. And now we're going to that overtime. Like I said, it's time for these teams to rally a little bit longer. How deep into the overtime do we go? It's a big stage, this gameplay. You want to start these sort of tournaments off on the right foot. You know, there's not a lot of time to get it right. You just need to be going from the get-go. And, you know, Fun Crew, they felt like they had control of this game for the most part for quite some time. And then in the late stages, it felt like Sam Fam had it, and it was pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered. No more than just that round there. It was a 1v3. But now it's all reset. Economy equal, rounds equal. Flesh just a big opening pick.
Yeah, Mer's up. Return opening pick with maybe a few, but Precious. Not the craziest of games out of him individually, but still sharp when necessary. Beautiful shot, Norton taking out Smokinder deep. Pushes for this defense side, Sam Fam. It's all gone to shambles here. Ander, they tucked him midway for Yakuza, but the spike's going down A. There's 4 Fun Crew players for Ander to deal with. Norton, are you picking him? That's not the way you want to hold here. We saw Sam Fam in this situation. Of course, one less member. We're able to get it done.
You want to play? Let's play.
Well, advantage Fun Crew. They claim that round. They claim the 13th. Now they have an opportunity to claim it out on the defensive side, where they didn't look that convincing towards the end of this game. And it took some brilliance from Yakuza to try and get them across the line. Can they do it this time and do it with a bit more assertiveness? You got to imagine that Andy will be a key part of getting them across the line here. Him and Yakuza, they've been such integral parts, playing the role of the duelist, fragging out like you'd expect your duelist to. And if Forgotten Art, the double duelist pick, we now get to see it come out here, and they're reaping the rewards, certainly. They do start to shape up towards C. They found some favor here so far throughout this matchup, and they look to do it once more. They do have the numbers over here, but they're allowing the rotate. The time is starting to tick away, and the longer they leave this, the quicker the rotate comes through. Flesh is good for 1, Flesh is good for 2. Norzen good for another one, and now it's all on Sam Fam. Norzen gets another one. And we saw a pretty incredible clutch before, Tony, but we won't see it this time. That will be the end of that one. That'll be all she wrote. Sam Fam, after an incredible comeback, clawing their way back into that matchup and not quite able to get across the line on that one. It'll be Fun Crew taking out 14-12 in an overtime victory. A beautiful game, one that provided all the twists and turns we would love to see from our opening night of the XP Open Series. Of course, powered by Intel and Computer Alliance and our good friends over at Zowie, as we do look over at the scoreboard to reflect on what has been. Of course, you can see there Andy 24-19, Ander 21-19, Yakuza 23, Merz 21. Plenty of brilliant plays there from all across the board, and you know the combat score of Andy 285 says it all.
Yeah, 285, 227 for Yakuza, a big 1v2 there, and I feel once Sam Fam got it across the mark, it just felt surreal that they were about to close it, and Fun Crew definitely must have been feeling that sentiment, and I think, you know, Mercer said it best in chat, that's the story of Sam Fam's career and his career as a player, you know, always coming so close to beating some of the greatest, but of course, just getting shut down at that last merit. Fun Crew, they pulled deep for that one, I have to say. Sam Fam definitely made them work for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Fam did make them work for it, and they made us work for it, Tony, but We're glad it happened. It's been a brilliant series. Any reflections on that last series? Any reflections on the evening so far, Tony, about where we've come from and what we've seen? You know, for me, it's been some of the impressive standout players we've seen, maybe in unlikely scenarios. Whether it was that clutch, you know, you've got to look at that final play of the regular time. Just then, Yakuza winning that overtime, winning that situation, the 1v3 to get them to overtime, which ultimately sealed the deal. If he doesn't win that, they take the loss. So it's a really impressive one. And in fact, didn't have to use a lot of abilities to do it. It was just pure aim and strategy getting it done.
Yeah, I feel Samfam kind of got in their own head for that last one. You saw that Element kind of took a fight he didn't have to, and for the side of, you know, Samfam, it's heartbreaking, but of course they're going to have to pull back for the next few games, of course, in the coming weeks, because, you know, they've still got plenty more games to play. Fun Crew still have plenty more games to play, and, well, if that's the way the night goes, we could be in for a crazy week's worth of games, of course, going to next week and the coming ones as that.
Yeah, of course. We are set for an incredible week, to be certain. If you look just over that way, our good friend Breach, he's excited about it. He's dancing around. He's really can't wait to get ourselves into some more. He's got the fist together, ready to flash his way. You know, hope we get to see some Breach. I'm a big fan of him. But look, that is going to be the end of our night, Tony. We're going to get out of here. It's been a brilliant night of the XP Open Series, opening night. It's always a pleasure to be back alongside casting with you, my friend. Of course, shout out to our good friend Crash OBS on the OBS tonight. He did a brilliant job capturing all the brilliant moments of this opening night. And then our wonderful admin, Alex, getting it done. He is as cracked as he is Jack, getting the job done. But we can't go anywhere without saying thank you to what powers the XP Open Series, our good friends at Computer Alliance and Intel. Make sure you go get your 12th gen Intel processor from our good friends at Computer Alliance, if you will. We will not be disappointed. And then Zowie, some beautiful monitors. You want to be sure to check them out. I've used them, and I just wish I could get one. I need to get my hands on one. So a brilliant night, Tony. It's been a pleasure having you. It's been a pleasure having you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you stay safe. Look after one another. We'll see you next time for some more XP Open Series.